got some brave kiters behind me who are going to be doing Kiteloops and Megaloops. So if you've been interested in learning either, definitely keep watching because we're going to interview them and get their tips for learning how to do both.
Learning to kite loop, definitely a fun, challenging trick. Higher consequences, certainly, if you go into it blind and you don't look at videos and you don't try to learn or ask people who've done it before. First things first, you want to take a kite that's slightly smaller than what you would take normally. Smaller kites do loop a lot faster. So you can go on a mid-range day and you can get around with a loop much easier and easily fall under the kite so it's catching you. And that's a big thing in kite looping, is you want to be able to swing under the kite. So if you have a good day of 15 to 20 knots, you grab an 8-meter kite, which is slightly underpowered. You're not going to go as high. The consequences are going to be much more minimal.
It was probably like 30 to 35 gusty knots. So it was an 8-meter excess 5-strut. And it was just perfect conditions to really kind of practice getting your loops down and then slowly progressing bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you want to get interested into kite looping, first off, you want to make sure that you're pretty comfortable just looping the kite on its own, whether that's just riding downwind or just doing small loops and transitions. A couple things that I found really helped me out is that when I started on around a 10-meter to 9-meter size kite, and I aimed for a 3-strut kite. The reason for that is because if you start with a 5-strut, the loop is going to be quite powerful and strong, and you kind of want to build up to that 5-strut big air kind of model kite for bigger loops. So start on a 3-strut around 9 meters and just kind of go for it, to be honest. You know, a lot of people surprise themselves and they think it's a really high risk, kind of that dangerous aspect of the sport. But if you just start small.
I just learned kite loop like 2 weeks ago and I'm sending it like this. One of the tips that helped me the most was do some ascended. Like I watch Get High with Mike, the ascended video. So you want to jump and send your kite. This is gonna help you to do a ellie loop over your head, and after, when you start to pull some Megaloop, you do the same thing. You pull your Megaloop, and you want to send your kite over your head to land smoothly.
And then, when you want to bring it to the next level, there's this dead range. The first 5 meters is great for learning kite loops because the consequences are relatively secure because you're not too high in the sky. But once you're above 5 meters and not quite to 7 or 8 meters, a lot of times that kite won't catch you, so it actually becomes almost more dangerous. So when you learn the kite loops, you kind of want to wait till a good day comes so you can push it and really go high enough to have plenty of time to catch you.
I think you need to go for it and try. If you don't try, or just like Lucas said, jump maybe 5 or 6 meters, you're gonna scare yourself, and that won't help for the learnings.
In regards to like a great wind speed to start looping in, I would recommend anything where you can fly a 9, but you're not overpowered. You know, you're kind of in between that mowing the lawn, but not doing really big boosts. So let's say between like 18 to 24-ish knots, depending on your weight size. And same thing, just starting small, right? You maybe want to loop maybe 4 or 5 feet off the ground and then slowly build. And then once you're comfortable with the smaller loops, you want to kind of hit that 7 to 10 meter mark of jump height in order for the loop to catch you and to have a really nice landing. You'll notice kind of straight away if you're not high enough, because as you're pulling the loop, you'll already be seeing the water come too close and you'll kind of hit the water and then your kite will finish the loop. So trying to progress, first, nailing the nice tight loops. Second, going a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger until you hit that 7 to 10 meter mark, and then you'll really notice that it's a nice complete and it catches you really well.
The biggest tip that I could give someone is body positioning. Everyone wants to just jump in the sky and loop your kite. And the big thing is when you jump, you want to turn, look back a little bit. So almost like if you're riding 90 degrees to the wind and you jump, if you don't turn back a little bit, what happens is the kite twists you in the sky and you can easily use a rotation. And that's how you fall on your shoulders or break your ribs or get completely out of control. So the best tip that I could give someone is when you jump and you're at noon and you're ready to start your loop, just look back 10 degrees. And what happens, it squares you off with the kite. You're gonna get pulled straight with the kite and it's super easy to stay centered. And that way it's gonna be a nice easy loop, soft landing and easy to ride out.
Also make sure that when you are pulling the loop, that you're committing. You know ahead of time, 100%, I'm gonna pull this bar all the way in until that kite loops back to 12. And most importantly, I found as well, is always really engaging your core. A lot of people in the beginning, when they start looping, they're a little bit kind of wonky in the air, kind of floating side to side, and you can reduce that and also reduce your chance of twisting in the air by just being really tight and really solid.
After you complete the kite loop and you're on your way down, there's a couple options you can do with your kite. You can either do a forward loop, like a heli loop. This one actually slows you down as you come down. So what happens with the heli loop, you want to actually pendulum under your kite and do the loop behind you. And what that does is it stops all your forward momentum into slower speed so then you can land nice and softly. So heli loop's a great option. You can also do a forward loop. So it's the opposite of a heli loop, kind of the same direction as your kite loop. Again, as you're falling, you want to wait till the kite is above you. That's something you can actually practice without doing Megaloops too. You can just do regular jumps, send the kite a little bit deeper back into the window in your jump. And as you're swinging back down, you can practice that heli loop. And that's a big one that's going to help you stick a lot of landings.
Let us know if you're going to be attempting kite loops or Megaloops in your next session in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye!